So welcome back to the 3 Miles MC. I will be going onto the Eicma Motorcycle Convention today again, and we will have a look today at the bike that I'm looking forward to the most on this motorcycle convention, and that is the Yamaha XSR 900 GP. Why in specific am I looking forward to this motorcycle? I started riding on a Yamaha XSR with the proper retro looks, with the double headlight and the really square rear, and just this beautiful late 80s, early 90s sports bike design. And I cannot wait to see this on a new bike. I already was so amazed by the rear of the old XSR 900, and I really loved that look. And now seeing it with a full fairing that is inspired by old motorcycles, I cannot wait to see it. So let's go on to the convention. So I am now at the very overcrowded Yamaha stand, and behind me is the new Yamaha XSR GP. And as you can see, the bike has a half fairing. A full fairing is available as an extra, and you also have a 5-inch DFT dash that has analog instruments represented on it with 3 rider modes. And the visuals of this bike are just absolutely amazing. It looks like basically a custom bike from the factory. You have the gorgeous fairing that is very reminiscent of the old super sports, especially the 500cc 2-stroke bikes. My comparison would have been more to the FCR 600, but the light is more reminiscent of that. The tank and the rear really build a beautiful line. Not as much as the old ones, but the attempt is definitely there. It's a really gorgeous bike, and the frame looks very similar to the old Delta box frame that the old Super Sports used to have. Also, how the things that are connected to the fairing, that are giving the fairing support, are connected to the frame is just absolutely gorgeous in my opinion, and it really brings back to my starting days in motorcycle riding. So seeing this motorcycle makes me really happy, I have to say. This motorcycle also comes in comparison to the other XSR with clip-ons and different foot pegs. So you definitely have a more sport bike orientated position. And also the bike comes with Bridgestone tires from the factory. So let's take another more detailed look at it, and then I'll sum up my thoughts on the bike. So I'm now back from the Eicma Motorcycle Show, and I have to say the Yamaha XSR 900 GP is probably my favorite retro bike of all time. The reason for that is actually standing behind me. That is my Yamaha FCR 600. It doesn't run right now. That's my first motorcycle that I ever had, and I'm in love with that bike. And that there's now a bike that takes many design cues, like parts of the fairing, certainly not the double round headlight, but I can be okay with that, because instead of the double round headlight, it looks like a race-ready sports bike, which is also pretty cool. So I can sacrifice the amazing looking double headlight for that. But all in all, it takes many design cues from the motorcycle behind me. The Delta box frame, the boxy look, the straight line between the tank and the rear, which is more pronounced on this bike. I wish they would do that a little bit more in the XSR GP, but styling wise, if you get the full fairing on the XSR GP, then that's a really beautiful bike. And for someone who started on this, it's just an absolute dream to see this motorcycle on the Eicma with the modern CP3 engine. And speaking of the engine, with that amazing 3-cylinder that Yamaha has been using in the MT-09 and in the XSR 900, the normal one, a bike like that would probably be proper fun. You'll probably have a lot of torque along the rev range. Well, this thing is all go at the top basically, so it will be a bit different from the old authentic sports bike riding wise, but I think it will be proper fun. Also because the CP3 engine is a very characterful engine, and this character is also really pronounced in the old motorcycles. Like this motorcycle engine wise feels very special, for me at least. I'm really happy that they combined the looks also with a very characterful engine. That is so cool. Even though I'm curious when actually riding the bike how it then will feel reminiscent of the old bikes, because this bike felt like a slingshot in a way. You were going faster and faster and faster along the rev range, and in this basically explorative acceleration along the rev range, and with this 3-cylinder it will probably be more evened out. So yeah, I definitely want to ride this bike, the XSR 900 GP, at some point, and I will definitely find a way. On the Eicma Motorcycle Convention, I also loved the paint job that they gave the new XSR 900 GP, with reminiscent of the old Yamaha colors, and it looked a little bit like the Marlboro paint job. I really liked that. Like, the colorway is really beautiful. Also at the convention I made it through the crowd and actually sat on the bike, and it felt really good. It felt like an old sports bike, but the handlebars were a bit higher, so it felt a little bit more comfortable. You still had this feeling of being in the pocket with this enormous windscreen that is very round, and then with the supports of the fairing, which I just love, that you still have this feeling like on the old bike, but it's way more comfortable. And because this thing is back-breaking behind me, like riding for a whole day on it, you will feel it. And I think with the XSR GP that will be better, which I appreciate. So more creature comforts there are definitely welcome. And I also love that even though it's more comfortable, it still has this cockpit feeling that the old bike had. Back to the design, because that's actually the main focus in my opinion when it comes to this bike. I love that they went with bar and mirrors, because those ones right here always looked blocky and I was not even able to see anything in them. So and also this motorcycle also looked incredibly cool with bar and mirrors. I used to have bar and mirrors on it until a bird flew into it. And also in total motorcycle design wise, the Yamaha XSR GP really takes me back to my start in motorcycle riding, to my first personal bike that I got off eBay, and that just makes me really happy. And I think it will also take a lot of people back in time to when they rode those bikes in the 90s when they were new. And I just absolutely love that, because for me sports bike design has definitely peaked in the late 80s to early 90s when all the bikes had the double run headlight, and I just love those bikes basically. And I'm just so happy that there is now a sports bike that looks like that again. Like, I'm just incredibly happy that the Yamaha XSR GP exists. And for me, it's right now my favorite vintage motorcycle on the market. Like, I would take this above any Cafe Racer and any Triumph, Bonneville or whatever, any day of the week. Like, this is so cool. And also, it's really, really unique, because I remember when I rode my FCR, I was always kind of the only person that had a bike from that period, which was not too old, but kind of like old. And everywhere where I stopped with it, I was the only person with it. So kind of cool that there's now the XSR GP, which brings this look back, you know? Makes my bike a little bit less unique, but yeah. Also, that I now saw the XSR GP on the motorcycle convention really made me want to bring this motorcycle back to life. It said he doesn't run right now, and I didn't have the money to get it going again, and I want to try to fix it myself. I just don't have the knowledge, and I still want to try, because I just love this bike. And now seeing the XSR GP on the motorcycle convention, I just so badly wanted to ride a bike that looks like that again.
A short note from the editing room: I forgot to include the price in the video. The bike is priced at 13,800 something, which is quite a lot of money. The normal XSR is 11,800 something, so it's 2,000 euros more expensive it will be. It's an okay price increase. It's good money, but it's manageable. But to keep in context, the bike that's standing behind me in that video is the Yamaha FCR. That one goes on eBay very often for less than $1,000 bucks. and in very decent condition you can have one in 1,500, 2,000 euros. So do with that information what you want. Yeah, the bikes look basically very similar, so if you want the look of that bike, of the XSR 900, maybe check out eBay.
As you can tell, I'm a big fan of the design, and if you like what I do here on YouTube, feel free to subscribe and give the video a thumbs up, and also I have the link to my other socials and my Patreon down in the description. And I hope that you liked the XSR GP just as much as I do. Yeah, and with that, see you soon.